Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure: 2020, episode 37, Mimi-chan Wars. I'm May, and of course I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi!
Evie will not be joining us today, but she has sent us through her thoughts about the episode, so we will get to that in Evie Eval's... Eval? I can't even speak. I think I said it right, but then I stuttered weirdly. Anyway, so EVALs. I combined it into one word, EVALs, which will be obviously in the discussion portion of the podcast, but for the synopsis part and discussion and all the actual talking, it'll just be Quinn and myself. I'm very bad at wording things today, apparently, so I guess I'm looking forward to doing the outro. Taichi and Koshiro go looking for food, and Tentomon decides that we have to split the group up because there are already too many characters in the screen, and the writers just can't deal with that, so we can't have all these characters together.
And it's the two, characters we just finished finding.
I don't know, I feel like this episode could be exactly the same if it was, let's say, Takeru and Hikari who were looking for Mimi, or, well, not looking for Mimi, but found Mimi.
Oh yeah, they're completely interchangeable. Sora being there doesn't matter. I forgot Sora was in this episode until Anthony pointed out to me that it was such a shame Sora was in this episode.
Yeah, because she was there, but she was acting as bait, which means she was off screen for the majority of the time until the end, where she's just like, "Oh yeah, Mimi, you're a leader."
That's all Sora gets to do, is come in at the end to be a big damn hero, and I'm real tired of it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like if even it was just like Sora stumbles upon Mimi, like. I feel like that would have been a much better. If all of Taichi's stuff was just Sora.
Amazing.
Yeah, we had the Sora Mimi episode in the original adventure, which was I liked it. It was nice having the girl characters rescue everyone else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this
that.
show at least occasionally attempts to be woke. Like you can just do that. Come on, cowards.
Yeah. This episode was woke, but
it was like the most Hillary Clinton neo-lib. Ugh.
Yeah, it was like soft-boiled yolk. It wasn't like yolk. I meant to say woke, but it was meant to say yolk as the joke, as an egg.
You know what? We already have bird bath.
You get what I mean.
We'll do yolk.
We'll go yolk. This episode it wasn't woke, it was yolk. It was there. But, I mean, spoilers, I liked this episode, but I for the majority of the time, it was purely the animation and things just looked nice.
Yeah. And if you ignore everything Mimi says, Mimi's adorable. This had all the elements of a really, god tier. I briefly thought I was going to give it another 5. And then I listened to what people actually said in the adorable moments and oh no, Mimi, the thing you're describing is called a union.
Yeah. For the most part, I'm kind of it could just be a 10-year-old's interpretation of what it is. So just
but it's also what the writers want to teach children about corporations. And if we're setting up it turns out this is L Corp and, Mimi's grandpa is going to be the bad guy, I'm here for this. But do I really think we're going to be that self-aware? Oh, we might be, because it is the Tachikawa OS.
Yeah, I'm they might just be doing complete Appmon here.
Is Grandpa the baddie?
Just taking. I don't think I could. I don't think that would happen because that would mean that they would have to actually have a character.
Does Grandpa
who's not
just run the DigiVore Corporation?
Look, I really want that now, but I don't think that that seems too much, right? That seems.
I don't know. We already did Faga, which I would not have expected to be just name dropping the 4 biggest company in the world as your villain. And we do have exactly 1 billionaire on the cast to bring out a guillotine.
I mean, you could add the T from Tachikawa to the end of that, but
I don't know.
That just seems like we're just doing a slur.
That sounds great. Yeah, no, Faga, I feel so bad saying it. I feel like I'm saying terrible things every time, and then it's wait, no, I guess it's fine-ish.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just
Yeah.
But,
feels bad.
So yeah, that's
to say.
But I would be so surprised if they did Tachikawa is actually the big bad. That everything's all because of what Tachikawa Industries has done.
I don't know. They've done enough things that we've said are too good for Digimon in the meta plot that we get distracted by the terrible writing. But, like, the general ideas they've tried to do and failed to do well have all been pretty good. So,
Yeah, but the thing
maybe.
is, but I honestly can't imagine them, like, because that would just break Mimi, like, as like anybody reasonable finding
No,
out that
but it
even
leads
a
to
10-year-old.
it leads to Union Boss Mimi.
Yeah, but that means that they have to actually spend like more than just one episode on a character who isn't Taichi.
I know.
Though to be fair, out of all like the episodes, like Mimi has had like the most focus in her own in like the episodes where she is present.
Yeah, like
in the episode
Taichi
where they
didn't
went
get
to
an
fake
evolution
Tokyo.
at the end of this one.
He didn't even become Metal Greymon. He was just Greymon the entire time.
Good. He should have done that last week too.
The writers are absolutely
We sure didn't
just
talk
fans
about
of Mimi.
what happened last time. Apparently, alternate evolutions are just normal.
Yeah, that was weird that was glossed over. But anyway, I guess back to the synopsis. So we have Tailmon saying that she wants to protect Hikari, and then Patamon's like, yeah, and I'll play with Takeru. And I love this part. I just love how...
That part really was very solid.
It's nice to have like this dynamic of Patamon, who is a holy Digimon, but doesn't have any memories. So he kind of is just still a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Tailmon, who is obviously a holy Digimon. Like, she's not like, a cutesy kid. She has full memories of the war. She has full memories of everything. And she kind of just wants to defeat Millenniumon, protect her human partner, and save the world. And then Patamon just comes along.
It's a nice contrast where they both have a character in a way that they definitely did not in 02.
Yeah. Or
it's
even
weird that they have more characters than their humans, but that's an issue we've griped about for a long time.
Yeah, well, I mean, Takeru's personality is he is just a normal 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, but I wish...
that's kind of his thing.
I wish she had literally anything, even if it was just video games. Like, a thing that I could identify as a personality trait.
Well, do any of these kids have personalities, except for Mimi, surprisable?
Yeah,
like,
Mimi...
even Taichi at this point doesn't.
No, not really Taichi. Sora is the big damn hero who shows up at the end.
Yamato is there... somewhere. Joe has a personality, and Koshiro has a personality, and Mimi have personality.
Care about his brother.
Yeah.
He's not worried about it right now.
No. Well, I think it's because he did say, okay, Taichi, I trust you with my brother, which is something that original Yamato never did.
I would have expected to see like 4 shots of him trying desperately to get back to wherever anyone else is. Digimon do a lot of wandering in a random direction and ending up in the right place.
Well, next episode is going to be Yamato, so I guess we can be bored next time because, look, I don't have any faith in a Yamato episode. I don't know why.
No, it's gonna be bad. We're gonna say Takeru and Oni-chan, and I guess we're probably gonna get a reveal about their parents finally. Hooray.
Or I don't think we're ever gonna get that. We don't know anything about any of the parents. We have like an inkling that Sora's mum is somewhat traditional, but that's all we have seen from this. We know Mimi's parents are, rich because of her grandfather.
We're pretty clearly just pretending we didn't have a 20-episode gap from the last time these kids had character development. Because I don't know about you, but I forgot that Mimi had a first kingdom. Was it by the time they said, by the way, I have a second kingdom now?
I have never forgotten. But for some reason, I'm surprised that the show actually recognized that episode happened and that, time had passed.
So, like, if we are building off of what little character development we had before and just pretending we didn't stop writing this show for 20 episodes, I mean, I guess that's fine, sort of. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. God, we've been teasing Koshiro being adopted for so long. We brought that up more than 12 episodes ago.
Yeah, I feel like it was only just a very small little gloss over. Like it's something that I barely remember.
He started trying to reveal it, and we said, "Oh, wait a minute." And then that was it. It was awful.
Yeah, Koshiro was like, hey, can I have a little bit of character development as a snack? And the show went, no. I'm sorry, your name's not Taichi. And even then, we don't give Taichi a character. Taichi's character is a complete chameleon. His character, his personality just
This goes back to what
changes.
I'm saying. The last time Taichi had a character was when he and Greymon were exchanging, not Greymon, Ogremon were exchanging manly feels.
Yeah, that was great. But I feel like ever since then, Taichi's personality has just depended on the episode.
Oh, absolutely.
This episode, he was kind of
he stood around.
He was kind of sassing Mimi this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was there and
in
sassing
fairness,
Mimi occasionally.
Deserved way worse than she got.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was like, look, she was terrible,
overbearing
but not like. I
in
feel like,
addition to the other. I don't know. Don't
but
assign me
I
a
feel
number.
like she's meant to be like that because she's still just like a spoiled 10-year-old. Like they can't make like a perfect. Like
Yeah,
it is
but
really
she
nice
also,
that she's ruling a kingdom.
it's the
It is
same
like,
thing. She stopped being that for 20 episodes.
yeah, well, she was also just there for a while. But anyway, back to the synopsis because we're literally like a minute in. We have Taichi and Agumon climbing trees for food, and the tree breaks, and Taichi and Agumon now in the current, and then Sora jumps in fully clothed. It is cool, but again, her character is just like, she is big damn hero, and that's it. That's all. That's her character. And then, of course, Sora and Biyomon also ended up getting swept away in the current, which is so much just like, I love this trope of like plot convenience separation, which is just, it's not even like, I'm not even mad anymore. It's just funny.
Staggering the number of times we've done this.
It's just, it's the most like plot convenient thing either ever. But I do, however, appreciate that we have Biyomon apologizing and blaming herself because she didn't evolve, because that is a nice touch. That is something that's just like, you're right, a bird would have been able to save you all because, you know, water, she flies, you know, she could have saved you all, and she didn't. And
she just
like,
didn't.
she should feel
bad.
She
should feel bad.
Biyomon, you should definitely feel bad.
Yep.
You should have evolved
bad,
there.
and you should feel bad.
But I'm very much happy that like she at least pointed it out, because then it would have been like really annoying. But I don't
see. I
think I would have complained about it.
Excuse doing something stupid by apologizing for it in the episode.
Yeah, but she should have evolved.
That is a thing that you are way too willing to let Digimon do, is just lampshade bad writing and then go, yep, we're just doing literally that thing we're making a joke about right now.
Yeah, but at least they, like, I like when they address it. Like, at least they're sort of saying, oh, look, we didn't do a thing. At least they did that. Like, but again, I'm too lenient on this show, especially
understanding of what telling a story is.
Yeah, but the plot convenience leads us towards Mimi, so is that really so bad if the end result is Mimi?
But at what cost?
Predominantly Togemon's smile, which is like, I don't know how they managed to animate a cactus smiling, but a cactus? I can't remember.
Cacti is the plural.
Cactus, yeah. Yeah, she is one singular cactus, but I just really like seeing her smile. And I wish all cacti smiled like that. Like,
you are one singular cactus.
Yeah, I like that. But anyway, so I just really like Togemon existing. Anyway, so they all reunite, and it's just episode 6 again, and it's basically what Sora's kind of referencing about how it feels familiar, because this is sort of what happened in episode 6.
Remember when we used to have characters?
Briefly. Very briefly, and still Sora didn't really have a character.
There was a time when we were praising this show for its character writing.
Yeah, because Taichi seemed like he had one, and
everyone else had hints.
Yeah, well, I still have hope for the rest of it. Well, I was about to say, and Hikari was just kind of like
everyone was bland for 20 episodes, and I don't know why. I don't understand why we couldn't afford writers.
I don't know, but at least the writers that they do afford clearly have a bias because they really like Mimi.
It's true.
Because Mimi has had like the focus on every, like, whenever she's like there and there's Taichi and Yamato on the focus, she is the focus.
Mm-hmm.
It's even when they were in the fake Tokyo, Mimi was the focus, and Taichi was there for that one.
Yeah.
It's just whatever. I like it.
It's very
sort
good.
of.
So the group pretty here for it right up until this episode, but I've done my rant.
Yeah, and there'll be more time for rant later. The group find a castle, and Mimi says it's the lair of a ruler Digimon who make all the Gotsumon workers slaves, and Mimi says that it's like a sweatshop, and then she starts like spouting some woke stuff, like the wave of social issues have even reached the digital world, and it's just like, Mimi, where are you getting this? Like, Mimi, she has been scrolling Twitter.
And that's, it's, Mimi, the social justice warrior, sounded so good, and I was so with it right up until we started talking about what good corporations there are.
Yeah, but she tried. Like, I'm still thinking, like, she is a 10-year-old, and, you know, it's her grandfather, and because she's 10, she looks up to you know, her parental figures, and obviously she actually looks up to her grandfather a lot, so, you know, she hasn't really formed her own opinions. She's more like, she's parroting basically what her grandfather said.
Yeah, but
Like,
this exists within a space where that's what a group of people decided to tell 10-year-olds. And
yeah.
I there is a picture I would love for you to include in the show notes that I just put in the channel.
Is that from Neo
DM.
Yokio?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. What a thoughtful corporation. Me, every time I get, like, annual leave approved, or, like, they accept my like, hey, I'm not coming in today because I'm sick. As soon as they say, okay, I'll see you when you feel better,
Yep.
I'm like, oh, what a thoughtful corporation. It's whenever the corporation you work for does the bare minimum of, like, basically, even when I get paid, I'm like, oh, how thoughtful. They paid me. That thing that they're legally required to do.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's definitely... They're definitely a thing. Anyway, so Sora and Taichi look so confused by Mimi's, like, passion for companies not being black companies and, like, treating their workers with some form of positivity, basically. And then Mimi shows off a ruby, and then Palmon brings out Sapphire and Emerald, and I'm just sitting here going, this is Pokemon. These are the Pokemon games. She's just showing her Pokemon games off. I don't know why I got that.
Yeah.
And then Mimi says that she wants diamonds, and I'm just thinking, like, are we going to do, like, a blood diamond, like,
Nope.
slave trade sort of thing? Or...
Nope. I mean, sorta?
Well, sort of, but, like, they are technically blood diamonds.
Yeah, no, Mimi's sure willing to have a corporation mining blood diamonds.
But only if they're paid.
Yeah. I'm not sure
I don't
that's
like
better.
the imagery of, like...
It's
me, like, me becomes evil because...
It is. I mean, that's the joke I made. It's DigiVore's jewels, and it's so bad. They're wow.
No, but
this
I
is the
really
most
need to
tone
say...
deaf episode
I
of
really
Digimon. Please stop.
I really need to, like, really need to share this thought, but what if we got, like, evil Mimi who just goes through and starts killing Gotsumon because they make diamonds?
What if instead we got incredible social justice warrior Mimi who went into the net to destroy all the corporations, starting with Twitter.com?
I'm here for that.
Yeah, no.
Very much here for that. We're not going to get that
the
because
next
that is too
20
good.
episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just destroy them. Mimi could be so good, but I look, that might, if we actually do have Tachikawa Industries as the cause of everything, basically invented Millenniumon, and Tachikawa is trying to buy all the other tech giants. Oh, that actually might happen if Millenniumon is trying to get Farga or something about that, and maybe Tachikawa is trying to buy all the other tech giants, and then Tachikawa is actually Millenniumon.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, that sounds too good. Like, I'm still sitting here like, no, that's not going to happen.
It sounds way too good for Digimon, and unfortunately with this season, I think that means we're right on the money, and it's going to be just so badly executed.
They'll do it, but they'll do it in the worst possible way.
Yes.
They'll do it.
Hillary
and then
Clinton
Mimi
will show up at the end
and then,
to
like,
tell us why corporations are people.
Yeah, and Mimi will just not have a reaction to the fact her grandfather's evil. Like, she will just like, oh, I guess that makes sense.
An unwitting tool of evil. You don't know.
Yeah, but I know, I want him to actually just be, like...
Please let him be
I
evil,
want him
but
to be
nice
evil.
to his family. Please, can that be the moral?
You know, like, actual evil people?
You know, when you go to Cancun during the worst
any of those
snowstorm
things.
decade.
Hey, you want to know who... we just got the COVID vaccination. You want to know who got vaccinated first? Our terribly incompetent Prime Minister got vaccinated first. Not, any healthcare workers. Just, like, some random, like, 50-year-old was just like, I will get vaccinated first. Anyway, so Palmon says there are more gems under the castle, and Golemon explains that he's a slave and they're not allowed to rest. And then we get a bit of a flashback about how Palmon and Mimi basically liberated them, which is kind of great. Like, I love this part. Like, one of the reasons I like this episode is just the idea of Palmon and Mimi just liberating a bunch of slaves.
I don't think she did, though. They, like, had already broken out. They just showed up, fought the Golemon until Golemon decided they were friends.
They just kind of, I guess, were hiding. Like, they weren't breaking out. They were kind of, like, sneaking in, like, a sneaky nap.
Yeah, they were just already out of the prison, and then Mimi showed up and said, y'all work for me now. And I guess it's fine, because she's the protagonist. Yeah,
but she's gonna reward them, I guess. But we never actually see how she rewards them.
Yeah, no, for all that talk about pay, I did not see her pay anyone.
Like, she treated them nicely because she didn't eat the Gotsumon.
Yeah, like, like,
but
she is a slightly nicer boss, and that's...
But she still wins. Like she still look, any boss is probably winning more than any of the employees that they hire. Like that's just sort of a thing.
Why does the
like,
proletariat, the largest class, not simply eat the other classes?
Well, obviously because they're turning all of the massive class against each other, because then if they're fighting against themselves, they won't fight the actual smaller class. That's how that works.
Anyway,
And
this episode sure did decide to bring up social justice issues in the digital world, and then do them badly.
Yeah, but then the more you think about it, the worse it is. It is because she definitely does not pay them.
No.
Like there is no she doesn't give the. She says that they're precious and she says nice things, and I think that she genuinely cares about them.
Yeah, like legitimately, if she were a union leader leading a strike, all of this would make sense.
Yeah, I don't know why they should have kept it being leader, because that's basically what they call her at the end, but it feels kind of weird that they just sort of kept her being like, you are my employees who I'm not paying. It would, if this was a union, it would be so much better. Like, just make union boss Mimi.
Union boss Mimi could be so amazing, and Bancho Lilymon.
Yeah, but then again, she's still getting the gems. Like, she's still getting gain from this. But yeah, I really want Bancho Lilymon, because I keep on saying Bancho Lilymon. But speaking of which, Leomon, I was right. Leomon did not show up in this episode. It was just like the writers going, oh, well, we kind of are running out of characters to introduce, so let's introduce a bunch of dead characters.
Yep.
So that was the thing.
Yep.
Anyway, so Togemon and Golemon fought for many days, and then Mimi's second kingdom was born. And then Mimi announces that her plan can now start because she has the manpower, and her plan is to squash the castle and rescue everyone. And then Mimi says that she wants the gemstones, and this is when her character just sort of... just
falls apart.
Yeah, she's allowed to be selfish. She's allowed to have flaws, because then she wouldn't be, like,
it is...
realistic.
It is upsetting the degree to which the show presents none of this as a flaw. She's just being the manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
But...
Oh no, it's. I thought that the show did show it as a flaw, but only because Taichi would point out things like, she said it, that is what she cares about. She just cares about the gems. Taichi was basically there to say,
yeah,
no, these are flaws, but it was so quiet.
Way she was rewarded for this. She got a kingdom out of it.
Yeah.
She got her friends to start responding to her numbers. Wow, that's not good.
On the surface, it's good, but as soon as you start digging and actually thinking about it in terms of like, okay, imagine if this was the real world.
Digimon.
This would still be terrible. It's just, it's just like, I'm not going to eat you. Just work for me. That's basically it. Mimi says that her grandfather always said that a workplace is where workers are rewarded for hard work. And then, and that's basically the stance she has the entire time. It's just like, oh, well, but if the workers work hard, they get rewarded.
And then worker.
That's sort of like her thing, and she just parrots everything like her grandfather really told her. Which again, if the grandfather is evil, then
like I don't know, salvage that.
This that makes you can actually absolutely like sell this episode. Would be great if we're just having like Mimi parrot like the words of someone who's actually evil. Which I really want that to happen now, but I still I don't know. I don't feel like that's something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Golemon is servant number 99, and it's just really nice that we're referencing episode 6, because I feel like this is one of the first time
I unironically had forgotten about any of that, especially the numbers.
I hadn't.
I know you haven't,
I remembered
but
because
I really like 200 and some Digivices or something.
I have so many Digivices and virtual pets, but I have a problem. But anyway, I really like this, but I honestly cannot remember this show remembering and bringing anything up from previous episodes that isn't just sort of evolutions exist or certain Digimon exist. Like the Leomon Liberation Army, that was brought up and then referenced again like maybe 10 episodes later.
Yeah.
This episode is like 30 episodes later and they're referencing something, which I was surprised by. I don't know why, but I was surprised by it.
They brought up the Resistance Army that consisted of like 4 people on some ostriches.
Yeah, basically.
And they're maybe dead now.
I think they're dead. I don't think we're going to have Leomon again. I think Leomon's just died in like the most like boring, weird
I
way
think we
of just
may have
like
gotten
he
24
stood.
minutes of Leomon this entire series.
It's honestly a good effort for Leomon. Like, I think Leomon's done worse because Leomon. I feel like Saber Leomon showed up in Sabers and then died the same episode. I'm pretty sure the same happened to Mad Leomon in Cross Wars. I don't think Leomons typically live for very... Like, I feel like
No.
this Leomon actually lived for a while,
No, but
but not that long.
there was German Leomon, but I don't know if that counts.
Tri-Leomon lived for a while.
Kinda? Like, it was one movie.
Yeah, but he was there for like until the end. But anyway, so I still think Leomon's dead. Unless they have him come back as like Grap Leomon or something. Like
Yeah, I could definitely...
Oh, that would work.
Yeah,
that would work.
I
because
honestly...
he went into a vortex and Grap Leomon's attack is like spinning vortex or something. So if they did that, I'd be kind of like, whoa, that is weird, and I think I like it, but also I guess he got an evolution by falling into a vortex. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
that
we are
sounds
using
pretty
a
Digimon.
lot of different sources for evolution, including Vor, eating random gems. I really hoped that Lilymon was going to evolve using the diamond, but no.
Yeah, I thought that too, honestly. But I mean, I thought it, but I was like, nah, that's not gonna happen because that would be like we didn't even put it in the episode title. Like, come on, or we didn't even have like the encyclopedia want to introduce her. So
no,
nah.
like, but wow, that would have been a good decision. Just don't even introduce the evolution the week before.
Yeah, that'd be good because you know what? That'd be surprising.
Right,
That would be
I
like
would
love
love
something
that.
that's not
I would lose my shit.
like I would like with Blitz Greymon. I would have probably preferred it if they didn't do the encyclopedia and they just did like I don't know the bad guy that they're fighting or literally anybody else and they just have Blitz Greymon or maybe they could just do have they been introduced to Kabuterimon yet or is it just oh no we have been introduced
How
to
about
Kabuterimon.
Millennium
Be introduced to,
Mon?
I don't know something. Or Millenniumon, anybody, and then Blitz Greymon would have been more of a surprise. I kind of already had a feeling Blitz Greymon was coming because of the Digivice,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
I would have been surprised that it came then, basically, because, you know, before anyone else gets Ultimate Evolutions, I would have been surprised, but yeah. Anyway, so we have Taichi being kind of like awful because we have Mimi saying, "Oh, you're now my employees and not servants for today, and let's go like save all the slaves."
Can we back up to why
be
that's only
heroes
for
and stuff.
one day? Servants
Yeah,
was
yeah,
not
I don't know. Like,
an
I feel
Oof.
no, I feel like she's like basically saying, "Look, having servants, you know, today is a little bit of a touchy subject because you know y'all are slaves, so y'all are employees for today instead because." I don't want to upset anyone, but tomorrow you're servants again, but just for me, not for the guy who will eat you. So anyway, we have Taichi saying, yeah, we have Taichi complaining almost that he has to save the day. He's like, oh, I feel like we're being pushed into this. I'm like, look, Mimi's kind of weird with the way she words it, but she is trying to like liberate and free some slaves. Like her wording is a little bit weird, but she's still trying to do the good thing, or I guess what the show is saying is a good thing.
Like she ultimately did a thing which had good consequences, but I'm still not really cool with Mimi conquering a gem mine.
No, and like the fact that again she's not paying them. Basically she's just, as I said before, she's not eating them, but she's not paying them. It just feels kind of like we're definitely putting more thought into the show than the writers did. Like we're definitely analyzing this more than anybody.
I'm channeling Jay right now as I go, yes, we did put more thought into this than the writers did.
Like. Again, it is a show for kids, and I can't imagine kids like looking into like corporations and companies and
but that's
that sort of
my
thing. Like they'll just sort of take things at face value.
That children do take things at face value, and so what we tell them is important.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah.
Anyway,
so we have Taichi updating Koshiro's group, and Koshiro wishes that the Digivices had positional tracking, so I'm really glad that they actually addressed this. I didn't think we were actually going to get an answer of whether or not we had, like, the location tracking that we had on the Digivices in the original series, so I'm kind of glad that we just sort of gave that explanation, and I really do appreciate whenever the show kind of gives us, like, these
they're basically
tiny
just cell
bites
phones. It's fine. Yeah.
But you can track on, like, you can, like, share your location.
Yeah.
On,
they
phones,
have GPS.
it's going to be hilarious if, like, we find out that the Digivice does have that functionality. It's just that Koshiro didn't find the right like setting.
God, that'd be so good.
And also, I'd be like,
Oh,
I'd be
I'm
on board
sorry.
for
I had
that,
to
just,
download
like,
a firmware update.
yeah, and then Koshiro gets the evolution to Ultimate because he realizes that he didn't have knowledge for something, but that's okay because it's okay not to know things. I don't know. Hey, Toei, hire me as a writer.
Please?
Because I can guarantee, like, some of my ideas could be better than any of the ideas here. Maybe not for children, because probably be too heavy for children. Like, I just like, yes, smash down capitalism, and Mimi should teach us all about socialism and, you know,
Yeah,
being
Mimi
equal
the
and stuff.
social justice bard.
Basically.
I'm here for
Like,
it.
have her, like, show up in, like, union wear. Like, well, she's wearing red and pink, and I'm not sure if this is the same in other countries, but in Australia, one of the, like, a sort of like an affectionate slang term for people in a union are pinkos, because union colours are, like, red and pink.
In the US, a pinko is a communist. So, I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, but I feel like the US sometimes thinks that socialism is
Well,
communism.
yes, we do. We think socialism is when Donald Trump doesn't win an election.
But,
This
yeah,
is a weirdly
so maybe,
political episode.
I don't know, like,
It just lends itself to these conversations. I'm sorry.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I know it. Absolutely. Like, it has to be. Like, I'm not going to cut the political discussion because this episode is political and probably as political as Digimon is going to get, unless, like, this episode is just the start of it and we just go down,
my
like,
God,
corporations are
please
evil.
Make Mimi and Hikari the main characters. Just let them go be girls and smash capitalism.
Wait,
shoot
all
Millenniummon
three
with a
girls?
giant laser that also obliterates just also obliterates all the corporations.
Hang on. Are all three girls wearing, like, pink or red or some variant of clothing? Because I feel like this is just, like, communist propaganda and I'm here for it.
I mean,
Like,
it sure looked like it again until today. Like, someone did a real find and replace
again-
on the script of this episode.
yeah, but again, like, if Tachikawa turns out to be super evil and just wanting to buy all the tech
that'd be
giants and then he's
super
just
good,
creating Millenniummon. And then we just have, like, Mimi, like, wanting to, like, separate herself from that by, like, being an actual union boss that just, like, yeah, can we have that? I don't think we're going to have that, but can we have that? Like, that idea is so much better than anything in this episode, but if that actually happened, this episode would be, like, a really great start to
Yeah,
it.
no, we'd have to go back and reevaluate and be like, okay, Sleeper 5.
Well, yeah, I like, as I said, I like this episode, but I like it more now that we're coming up with these insane theories about how this is just like,
Yeah, there is a way this becomes a good
foreshadowing
episode.
episode.
This had all the ingredients needed to be, like, my favorite episode. And all they had to do was anything else.
yeah, like anything, and just to have, I'm still glad that we didn't have this as being a Tai Chi episode.
That's true.
Like, look, I really like this episode, and I guess I'll mention this again in the discussion part later, but I think I like this episode because, one, it wasn't a Tai Chi episode, which was surprising, and two, the animation this episode was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Or maybe I was
was
just
solid.
in a mood where I just was, it didn't seem to have any, like, of those minor bits that I've pointed out before. They had the Digimon having emotions in their faces, which is new. One of my favorite things in Digimon is when they have emotions, but they don't seem to give the Digimon species, any of the species, really much emotions except for Tentomon for some reason. But anyway, it was just really nice. Like, Togemon has, like, this look of pride. We have Greymon, like, being sassy and pointing to himself, which is probably, like, I don't know. I just really liked this episode because of how it looked, which is completely different from every other episode in the season, where it's just like,
Yeah.
I may point out some things here and there, but it's never, like, a deciding
No, the
factor.
key frames
and
were all
again,
really good. The
yeah.
storyboarding was really interesting. The fight was really well
yeah.
done.
Like, if you just watch this episode and not, like, don't listen to it, I mean, I guess the sound effects, but there's just no
Yeah,
voice,
as
no
long as you
dialogue.
don't think about the audio.
Yeah, it's just like, well, the sound effects are still fine, like, in the background,
Yeah,
but
but you know what I mean. As
in
long as you
terms
don't think
of-
about the script.
yeah, which is a lot of Digimon. It's just like, you don't think about the script and look at it instead. But it is so pretty, and I love how whenever we have Lilymon fight, she just turns things into flowers. And again, it's the nice contrast of, like, they're in a dark cave, it's dark, it's dirty, it's gross. except for the gemstones. And then Lilymon shows up and everything's flowers and grass and life, and it's really pretty. And I am so easily convinced of liking things. Like, I'm a big, like, I don't think I've ever used this word to describe myself, but I'm such a simp for, like, Lilymon existing. Like, whenever Lilymon shows up, I'm just like, yay! Yay, Lilymon happened. Especially, and again, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but that animation sequence we just decided to give Togemon evolving to Lilymon out of nowhere, just this
Look,
completely
Lilymon
unique...
is what happens when people only want to dip their toe into furry.
Yeah, which is fine. Like, it's great. And then Mimi T-poses. I don't know, I'm here for it. I'm just very much here. But I guess back onto the episode. So, we can't have characters reunite because the script still wants the characters to separate. So Komodamon just falls asleep and the group are just taken off course because he's asleep and he's just still running.
It's so lazy. It's so convenient.
I love this. It's so convenient, it's so lazy, but it's just hilarious. Like, it is just funny. Like, they're just riding along the Komodamon and they're just like, hey, we're veering off the path. We're not, like, being alongside the river anymore. And we just find out Komodamon's just fallen asleep but is still running, which is the biggest mood. It's just... I love this so much. It is so plot convenient. I like this more than the plot convenience at the start of the episode where they literally just like fall into a current and are just swept away to exactly where Mimi is.
Yep.
Like, this one at least makes sense, and I'm guessing the plot convenience is that they just wind up in the desert where Yamato is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then we get to say Oni-chan and Yamato a lot. Like, or Yamato.
Yeah,
and...
we're gonna reunite.
Yeah, it was
those
Oni-chan,
two.
but the subtitle said Yamato. Yeah, I don't want them to reunite because I just know that's what's gonna happen for the whole episode. Anyway, so back to the plot. We see a bunch of Digimon, including another Pendulum Z debuting Digimon called Sand Lizardmon. It is just a great Digimon. It's exactly what it says on the tin. And again, this is the recently debuted, like, 2 months, like, oh, well, I guess 4 months ago, because time passed, back in November last year. So, I don't know, I just like seeing these new Digimon just show up. And same with Gogugumon from the episode as well, also debuted in the Pendulum Z. So, I'm assuming these are brand new Digimon to you, Quinn?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, they're new to everyone, sort of. This is like the first time I've seen them animated because it literally just came out on the Virtual Pets in November.
Neat.
So new stuff, which is, it's just so nice that we see like a combination of the old Digimon that have shown up like on one Virtual Pet like 2 decades ago, and now we have new ones. It's nice.
It is.
So
it is
we have,
like everything that is not the script is continually surprising me with how good it is.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, for a lot of the time, if you just don't pay attention to the dialogue, or like a lot of the things, sometimes the animation
or like
is
I
good
still don't
and
know
the
why we
music
needed
is
to find the
good.
holy Digimon, or specifically
Because they were Patamon and Tailmon.
Yeah, but why were the instructions not go find your 2 missing party members?
Because
what
I don't
makes
know,
being a holy
I just feel
Digimon important? Why were the big tablets?
I still
Who
get
made them?
such like Frontier vibes from all that. I don't know,
yeah,
the
no,
Beldamon, I guess.
Frontier literally
Look,
invented the what if we just had exposition on a cave wall?
Yeah, and absolutely, that's probably why I get those vibes, but I'm still, like, definitely, most certainly, Team Devimon is actually a holy Digimon that actually got corrupted, and that's why he wanted the same for Patamon and Tailmon. Like, I'm
so
still
good.
on that side. But again, like, look, if like, you know, Toei came to me and said, hey, we don't have any idea about how to write the rest of the show. First of all, I'd say, yeah, I know, I could tell like 30 episodes ago. But also then I'd say, okay, first of all, Devimon, actually holy Digimon. Scrap anything else you had otherwise. And also, Mimi's grandfather, super evil, trying to buy all the big tech companies, and is actually Millenniumon, sort of, or his, like, personality in the digital world
perhaps.
is Millenniumon.
Yeah.
Yeah, do a possessed by if, like, it's easier to write, but do it well.
Oh, well, we're going to do a
that's
possessed
basically what
by
I'd say.
because then we can let him be good at the end of the show and not have to kill him.
Oh, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we wouldn't want a redemption arc because those always end in death.
Yep.
Like, I don't think I've ever known any piece of media that had, like, a redemption arc that didn't have a character, like, immediately, like, die or sacrifice themselves or something.
Vegeta.
Like, honestly, surprised. And I was about to say, like, Impmon, sort of, but, like, he like, G-rated children's show
Yeah.
died. Like, he got beat up real bad and was kind of like
He
in a
very
bad place.
symbolically
And
died and resurrected.
yeah, and he was kind of like, I think, carried into their transport by Ruki or something, and she was like, I'm not gonna leave him, which is also a great moment for Ruki just existing. Like, well done, Ruki. Hey, writers, more characters like Ruki, thanks. She is good. I like her. I like her because I hated her at the start of the show because I was meant to. That's how
We
you
were
do
gonna do a
character
short one this
development.
week,
You
so
have
let's finish up.
yeah, I'm so bad at this. Anyway, so yeah, we have LostinTranslationmon attacking Bergermon, and then we get a flashback to Mimi's plan. Taichi and Greymon break through with the Golemon, and Mimi and Palmon are tired, but Taichi points out the Greymon dug the hole. It's a funny moment, primarily because of the Greymon face just pointing to himself. It's just precious. It's just, they put in so much personality into just the adult level Digimon this week, which is very surprising, and I'm very much here for it. Then we have Mimi telling the Goblimon off for being awful, and then says that she'll fire them, which is just like, I get like the idea that, you know, she's like the boss, but it kind of just makes it feel like
You don't fire
bosses
people
go around
who don't
and
work
like,
for
hey,
you.
and you also don't use firing someone as a threat. You kind of just either fire them or like try to get them to not be someone you want to fire. Like you try to say, hey, I see you've done this. How about you do this? Like it's very much like the more you think about it and try to align this with anything in the real world, you're kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't fit.
And any
like it's very much like
awareness
this is
of
a
what
10-year-old.
a corporation is in the modern world makes this episode bad.
Yeah, but also we have to remember that she is a 10-year-old. Like this is if you tell a 10-year-old she's a boss, what is she going to do?
Sure, but that's
She's probably just going to
that's
go
sort of
around
a
saying that she's
Thermian
going to fire
argument.
people. Yeah.
You know, and that's a thing that I would like us to avoid. Very specifically, unless we're actually circling it back around to this to develop from this later. And have her acknowledge that she was wrong to be just everything about this episode. But I don't think we're gonna get that.
Oh, absolutely. If that actually does happen and we have Tachikawa Industries being the big bad, I think this show actually has potential to just be
I'd be pretty here for
best
it.
season of Digimon, but only if they like, unless they do something that's equally good, or they do it better, or if they do that and it's not terrible. I honestly think that would make this show like
It would have a really solid
actually, like,
ending.
one of the
You'd
best.
still have to tell people about the 20 episodes they can skip.
and yeah, and also like Omegamon kept showing up for no reason, which just like I don't know, they didn't work hard for that. They just kind of got Omegamon. But anyway, that's a discussion that we've had literally like 20 times. Anyway, so we have Mimi then ordering Greymon to fight the Goblimon. So we know that, the true workers, not the boss, the employees. And that's what I'm getting from this episode.
Yep.
Like,
Your boss
the actual
adds...
boss doesn't do it.
They did very clearly exemplify how your boss adds nothing when she just ordered Taichi to finish the fight.
Yeah, like CEOs do that. They just tell people what to do, and the employees actually the ones doing the work.
Well,
And that's
if
sort
they
of-
even do that, they set priorities that someone else then, like the middle management, actually organizes people. CEOs do very, very
Yeah,
well.
CEOs just sit there and earn the money, and then I'm sure they have other roles like playing golf.
Was it CNN
and
who did a
fishing.
thing recently where they broke down how busy the average CEO's week is, and they included things like time exercising and time golfing for business meetings?
Oof. The funniest thing is just like how most CEOs all have the same name.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yep.
it's Peter or David in Australia. I'm not sure if it's
or
the same
Steve
in other
or
places,
Tim.
but or Alan.
Yep.
These and have you noticed that these are male names typically?
Yeah.
So that's also a thing. We are getting very political, but again, if we were to get
So did
political
Digimon.
in any episode,
Yeah.
yeah, surprisingly, so did Digimon. Like, this is as political as we'll probably get, unless we just do Tachikawa Industries as evil, which still, like, very much hopeful for that. Also, Devimon being Holy Digimon, that would be also good.
Alright,
Show, please,
let's finish
do
up
things.
the summary, please.
Yep, let's finish the offset. Sorry. So we get another flashback to Mimi's plans, and then Mimi says she's going to use Plan B, and she wants to find the stones. And then Taichi says he doesn't know Plan B, Greymon destroys a bunch of Sand Lizardmon, but Taichi is worried and follows after Mimi. Mimi then evolves Palmon to defeat a Goblimon who was guarding the door, and Togemon defeats him easily because she's the best. Mimi finds more gemstones and is really excited about it, and then she appoints Taichi as transport chief because she doesn't want to actually do any work because she's a CEO. Yep. And then Mimi finds a diamond which just sort of falls from the sky, and Togemon is so happy that Mimi is happy, which is great. However, we then hear a noise, and it's another Pendulum Z Digimon, the Gogomon, and he's eating the gemstones and spitting out diamonds, and then we later on find out that he's not just eating the gemstones, he's specifically eating Gotsumon, so he's doing a Digivore, because this season is just heavy into just have Digimon eat each other,
yep.
Which, again, it makes it feel realistic, kind of, because they are monsters and creatures. So he's eating the Gotsumon and spitting out diamonds, and then Mimi yells at Gogomon and says that he's breaking the Anti-Monopoly Act, and then we find out the stones that we're eating up. Yep, Gotsumon, we're doing a vor. Togemon and Golemon punch at the same time. It's super cool, but Gogomon beats them, and then Golemon basically is just disconnected from the rest of his body, and he's just a head, and he's just telling Mimi to run, but then Mimi tells him to stop instead because Takeru's not here to do that this episode. And something I love, again, this episode has a lot of attention to detail and just small bits of art and animation. We have Gogomon drooling. And it's so I don't know, it's so gross, but it's so nice that we see him, he's just eating, and he's kind of like a gross bad guy. So I don't know, it's kind of cool. And then he says that everything here is his, but Mimi says that it's all hers, and that Golemon is her employee and she won't leave him behind. And then Togemon evolves to Lilymon in a really cool sequence, she T-poses and Togemon also T-poses, and it's so almost I'm surprised that they gave one of the girl characters such a cool animation, because it seems powerful and it seems important. And also seems very Gurren Lagann. I've not watched Gurren Lagann.
A first evolution sequence, and I'm like, wait, no, we have seen Lilymon several times.
Yeah, we've already. Yeah, this seemed I feel it would have been a good moment to give Mimi an upgrade, or just a Bancho Leomon.
I thought we were getting one.
Bancho Leomon. Yeah, I thought for a second I thought we were doing something special, we were doing It turns out the gemstones were actually the X antibodies, and we're getting Togemon X or something, or Lilymon X or something.
I thought we were just going with, it turns out there's a bunch of different sources of upgrades and evolutions and things, which would make a lot of thematic sense. And also explain the corruption thing.
Yeah, and it's very cool. And then we have Gogomon powering up by eating Gotsumon, which is a nice touch, but it's kind of horrifying. But again, I like it.
Yep, we should just watch some more sentient characters get eaten.
Yeah, and then Mimi gives Lilymon a diamond so that she can use this in the flower cannon, because all of her attacks has just sort of been eaten and reflected by him. And she's worked out that diamonds are actually his weakness. That's why he keeps on spitting them out. He can't actually eat them. And then Greymon shows up, and I was really worried that it was just going to be, and then Greymon evolved and saved the day. And it wasn't, and I was really happy about that. And that's another reason why I like this episode so much, is because it wasn't as bad as I expected. So we have, the fight is done and defeated and everything, and it looked really cool. And we get Lilymon using a drill-shaped thing, almost like an attack, and I don't think we get a Shadow of Rosemon at all, but I could be wrong. We just get this drill.
Yeah, not that I noticed.
Which is definitely not... Yeah, but it's definitely not her attack. Again, I don't know much from Gurren Lagann, but I know something about a drill showing up and it being important. So I just got Gurren Lagann feels, even though I haven't ever watched Gurren Lagann, I just know things from the internet. But I don't know where the drill is from. The only Digimon with a drill I can think of is Darulumon, but he is from Cross Wars. Then again, if we have Lilymon evolve into Darulumon, I will be here for that, because that makes no sense, but I'm here for it because I like Darulumon. And, so we have Mimi saying that employees are precious family, and this is the cost of Gogomon neglecting that, and, I don't think we get a shadow or anything of Rosemon, which I wish we did. After the battle, we have Sora saying that Mimi is a great leader, and Golemon calls her president, and it's kind of a nice touch that Golemon now has, a flower wreath, where I guess is kind of bandaging him up, because he was so terribly injured. And then they say their goodbyes, and Mimi says that another word for company is friends, and it's kind of really sweet, but it's also like
Again,
corporations.
wow, that would have worked better with Union.
Yeah, like it's very much just trying to say like, don't worry, the company you work for is your friend.
Yeah.
You can trust them. You don't need a union because you can trust them. You know, you wouldn't want to upset your friends, would you? You want to, want to work for your family, your friends. You want to work for us. You want to do stuff for us. And it's just telling us that corporations are good, but they tend. I mean, I'm not saying all corporations are bad.
I am. All corporations are bad.
Well, and that's why unions exist. Unions exist because they'll say, hey, you've not done something that you should have done here. Here, pal. Hey, you're kind of doing the dirty by your employees here. And this episode works so much better if Mimi is just a union boss. And I feel like that's how they wanted it to be.
Yeah,
because it just feels like that's what's meant to happen.
A very last-minute change to, I guess, fill in Grandpa. Like, they have done that before, and I think they're just running into some dissonance.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no, this was too for the people, and we are a corporation. Toei is a corporation. They probably may not want people to say, hey, corporations are terrible. So it very much could be the fact that they were like, oh no, unions are meant to be bad because unions they unions.
Yep.
They do bad.
Mm-hmm.
No, unions, bad unions. No, we want them to be corporations. Corporations good. Corporations are your friend. They look out for you. You don't want to upset your friends. That's sort of it. I would not be surprised if it turned out that this episode was originally just the union bosses, and then they had to rewrite it because we wouldn't want to upset corporations because corporations write our paycheck.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And we need money, we need to survive.
It has real Persona 4 vibes where you can see the places where they wrote something good and then later changed it to be terrible.
Yeah, like when they said, you can ship like the guy who is basically a trans guy with the guy who's basically a gay guy, but no, he's not actually trans. He is actually a girl. He was born a girl, so they are straight. Yes, they are straight. We're not doing a gay here. We're not going to have they are straight. This is straight.
No. It turns out the reason Kanji really, really enjoys being hot and sweaty and naked with other men is that he likes sewing. Sewing was the answer we were looking for.
Which feels like such a jump. Like, it's very much like in Animal Crossing how they had two characters who just call each other partners, but they're both masculine characters, and then in an update they just started calling them roommates, which made it so much gayer.
That's so much gayer.
Because it's in a universe where everyone can afford their own housing by themselves, and they live together.
And they were roommates.
It's just, nice job, Nintendo. But anyway, this episode, very much feels like it's meant to be a union thing, but they had to change it last minute. Or it's Tachikawa Industries as actually super evil. Either way, I prefer the latter because that means that this is going to go somewhere. And if it's the former, it just means it's another case of a corporation and people were scared and wanted a paycheck. Anyway, so that happened. It could have been a sweet episode, but again, would have worked well as union. Anyway, so in the encyclopedia, we basically find out that nope, there's no Leomon in this episode. We just have Leomon being described by Koshiro, who I don't think ever met Leomon.
I don't believe... No.
Am I right?
Died before they came into the digital world, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, no. He died like the episode that they... Like, the episode after they came into the digital world, because that was... Wait... Yeah, because they were going from the Seedramon area to the landmass, and then they got disrupted on the way with the lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds, like literally half an episode.
He was there for rescuing Takaru. He was there for sharing Oni-chan, so Leomon would have been there for that.
Wait, Koshiro?
Yeah.
No, Koshiro was doing the boat plot.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they did meet just very briefly.
That was like 20 episodes.
It sure was a long time and not very much plot ago.
That was forever. Yeah. Anyway, so Koshiro describes Leomon's biceps and abs and how they're so big quite a lot.
Sure does.
To a fact that it's surprising. And then he says that he'd love to go to Leomon's gym, which is kind of like... this is fairly certain this is a reference to Digimon World 3 or Digimon World 2003, which it was released in PAL as. And Leomon actually, like the gym was Leomon's gym. He ran the gym in Digimon World 2003. And basically I feel like that's a little bit of a reference to that, or maybe it's just completely
I think
coincidental,
it's just
but
that
I
there's
like
no
it.
heterosexual explanation for that line.
No,
'Cause it's
there's
fun
definitely
to
not.
stay
And
at
he
the
didn't.
YMCA. Anyway,
I'm just surprised we didn't have Kabuterimon saying, but also look at my pecs.
yeah,
Which,
would have been
like,
so
I
much
feel
worse.
like he's got the biggest pecs, I'm fairly certain, like Kabuterimon, not the Kabuterimon. Like, those are huge. He's got, like, the big defined muscles,
Yep.
like,
He
or something.
literally
And
has
he
rock
became
hard
Swolemon.
abs.
Yeah, because, you know, he has his skeleton on the outside. But anyway, that was cute. Next time we're also learning about another dead Digimon, Eldoradimon, who I forgot existed. And for a second, I only remembered he existed in Digimon Savers. And I was kind of like, why are we talking about Eldoradimon? Is he going to show? Oh, no, that's right. He was there. That's why they were falling and they wanted to save him for some reason. And there was physics and gravity and
I think we're
something.
if we're also doing Eldoradimon next time, I think those characters are just coming back soon.
I think they just ran out of characters to introduce to us. And they didn't
I
want
don't
to do
know.
the bad guys yet.
We did do a I'm sure we'll meet them again thing, and we're suddenly going, oh yeah, remember when there was plot 20 episodes ago? So
Look, he'll only...
I'm thinking we gotta bring
if he
Leomon
comes-
back long enough to die.
Again. No, I feel like he's just going to come back as Grappleomon because he went into a vortex.
Yeah, maybe, but then also needs to die.
Oh yeah, well, yes, but also, yes. On to the discussion. What were our highlights? My highlights were just, I liked the fact that Mimi was there. I liked the fact that Togemon was there. I liked the Lilymon animation. I liked the animation of the whole episode. I liked the emotion in the characters' faces. Particularly Togemon and Greymon and of course Mimi. That was all great. I loved that. I love how we see Digimon. I love how there was a Digimon just grossly eating other Digimon and they're just spitting out diamonds because that's how diamonds are made. You vor your friends. Basically, there was a lot that I liked about this episode, but that was about it. Like like discussing this episode, it's not that good, particularly because it feels like it's meant to be a union thing, but overall I liked it. But those are basically my highlights, like very short, sweet highlights for me. What about you, Quinn?
I guess the big one that was not explicitly ever mentioned is that I thought it was really cool that Palmon made a net out of the vines with the poison ivy.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was so
That
quick.
was super
and also,
cool.
yeah, I love that.
I thought we were gonna do something with that by the end of the episode, and we sure did not.
No, never again. But also, remember the leaf bag? That was cool. I like the making of things.
Yeah. I wish I knew why the.
Anything else?
Yeah. I guess as a low light when we're there, I have one, but no, I think I'm good on highlights.
Okay, I guess lowlights. My lowlight is basically like it could have been more. It just felt like, look, my lowlights are like just sort of hinging on my two my two theories about this. So either one, this is just foreshadowing to Tachikawa Industries being super evil, or two, they did mean it to be unions, but they had to change the wording last minute. And basically, if it's neither of those things, this episode just feels like corporations are your friends sort of thing. And
yeah,
also,
it's very
again,
Mitt
Mimi
Romney,
does not
corporations are
pay
people,
anyone.
my friends.
Yeah, and no, the employees are people. But yeah, Mimi does not pay anyone she claims to be an employee. And then she also says, "You are my employees just for today. You're my employees, not servants."
Yeah, you're gonna go
That
back to
feels
being my
weird.
servants
Why just-
tomorrow. Number 72.
Which is weird. Because, you know, she is fighting against someone who is putting them to work as slaves.
Yep. Keep in mind that you're only going to be employees for the day, so tomorrow you get to go back to being my unpaid servants.
But they're unpaid now. They're basically just like, I guess they're interns?
Yep.
Like, they're unpaid interns. They're just, they work hard and this is for experience and exposure. I don't know.
Yeah. Kill your boss.
There are less of them than there are of us.
Exactly.
But yeah, but I don't really have that many lowlights, really. I just have sort of things that this episode just felt
it was lazy.
Empty.
It was
empty. Yeah, I still really liked the episode, but predominantly because the animation just was really pretty. And yeah, I probably rated this episode too high, but I just feel like the animation was pretty, and it also, how I feel about this episode is very much hinging on if we're actually going to do something with Tachikawa Industries, which, considering how much focus we've had on Tachikawa Industries being a thing, like even at the
They've
start
gotta
we
be
saw
including
the
something,
logo.
yeah.
And before we even met Mimi, I'm pretty sure in some of like the shots of the real world, we had her grandfather hanging out doing stuff with corporations and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
and we had the Tachikawa logo on Izzy's laptop, and yeah, all kinds of things.
pretty sure TK's hat.
Yep.
Like, I'm fairly certain it's on TK's
It
hat.
is.
And it's not, because it looks like it says TK, and I thought that his
Well,
hat
it
just
does
said
say
TK.
TK, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought it was TK as in his name, not TK as in Tachikawa.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to be sort of a joke,
so-
but yeah. Yeah, no, it's very
The show didn't put that
weird.
much thought in.
I'm sure they're planning something, but this makes me feel like it's not gonna be something I'm glad of.
Like, I mean, I just found this episode kind of almost realistic. Like, she is just a 10-year-old parroting stuff that she's heard from an adult that she respects and looks up to, and she's, you know, the age where she's not going to really question what the people she looks up to says, and she might in like 2 or 3 years, but now she's just kind of like the repeating stage where you learn everything from your parents, and everything your parents and family overall have ever said is correct. And yeah, she won't start questioning that for a while. So a lot of them, she's also sort of like, I can't have that many lowlights for this, because it's either they couldn't say union boss, or Tachikawa Industries is evil and Mimi is just parroting something that she's heard because it sounds right. And
Because you
she's
are not
10.
immune to propaganda.
Yeah, she is a 10-year-old. Like, you don't, I don't expect 10-year-olds to have much of their own opinion on these kind of things, like anything to do with rights. They just sort of be repeating what they've either heard from adults they've been around.
Very, I don't know, conscious of a decision to say specifically we're going to do social justice issues in the digital world. And also,
Yeah, which again,
that was my other low light, is why do the gems matter?
I think they're just pretty, and Mimi likes pretty things.
Yeah, but
which,
why is there
honestly,
a castle
that's...
devoted to mining these gems? What do people do
Because
with gems
Gogumon
besides eat them?
Well,
Yeah,
they're made of
can
them. I don't
anyone
know.
eat them?
I think it's just this particular evil Digimon.
Okay, I come back to who built this castle? Why is there a mine here? What are we gonna do now that we have a corporation that mines gems? I wish the show was gonna tell us any of that. The implications for the digital world economy. We built this city on rock
and vor. You missed my joke and I'm sad.
I'm sorry, but I did hear it. It was very good.
I'm glad. Yes. I was going to say something else, but I completely forgot, but rock and vor sounded fine.
Yeah.
Rock and lore? I don't know. Rock and plot?
No, rock and lore
gem?
works.
There's a lot of ways we can go with this. Rock and lore, but what lore? Where's the lore? Somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not so much in this episode. Maybe it's in Tailmon. Tailmon's dedication to the lore happening.
Tailmon will,
anyway,
I'm sure, update us on the plot as soon as we finish giving the unimportant episodes one episode each. Unimportant kids 1 episode each before we do more plot.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I guess we're jumping back to highlights, but I really just adore Tailmon just existing, and her whole thing of like, Patamon just wants to play, and Tailmon's just here being a veteran of war,
Being
a
the adult.
literal veteran of war who just wants to
Literally the adult.
be like, yeah, and wants to save the world, and Patamon's just like, I'm gonna play with TK now, and that's just,
What a
I
mood,
love her
though.
reaction to that. It's just a nice dynamic, and I don't know, I really like Tailmon's character in this show so far. Any other lowlights?
Even ignoring all of my gripes about the writing itself, I just don't know why this episode happened, other than Mimi needed to do something and we needed to explain why she had a multi-day long fight with Golemon.
That whole thing, that gives me also another kind of inkling that this episode is important to the plot in the way that Tachikawa Industries is evil. Everything I have to say about this is just like, the more I think about it, the more I think that may be a possibility.
I do think we're going to do something along those lines, but I also think that I have to judge this episode based on what it is right now, and what it is right now is not hopeful for me.
What it is right now is filler, basically.
Yeah, like...
If nothing happens from this, like, what did we learn from this episode? We didn't get reunited with, Leomon, for example. We didn't have
Mimi got
anything else
some
with the
character
Holy
development,
Digimon.
and that was it.
Basically,
We split up the group
kids again.
Yeah, a
Because
bold
it got
move.
too big. And But yeah, so if this episode really does, like, absolutely goes nowhere, like, if there's no, like, if it doesn't, if nothing happens because of this episode happening, like, this episode is not good. This episode is just filler. But my overall enjoyment of this episode is that it has the possibility to go somewhere, and also Mimi was there, and she was really passionate about things. And again, I'm just gonna say that she's just a 10-year-old. She doesn't actually know what she's saying. She doesn't know that, like, payment is probably something that she doesn't really get.
But the writers do.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that in terms of her being a realistic 10-year-old, like, I'm not going to start saying, oh, Mimi's terrible because she's not paying us.
It's just like, narratively speaking, when someone is making a serious error in judgment in that manner, you don't let that error in judgment have a big saving the day speech and be the thing that lets you get called the leader and the president.
Yeah. No, yeah,
So.
you're right. But yeah, so any other lowlights or highlights or anything?
This episode was bad and it should feel bad.
And Beomon should have evolved.
Yep.
Basically.
Sora should have been in this episode.
Yeah, basically. So now we'll move on to Evie's evals, which I was able to say that time.
Excellent.
And Evie says that she thought that it was fine. The opening few minutes were original adventure episode 3 though. Mimi's enthusiasm is also always appreciated, but it felt slightly undercut by all the capitalism. So yeah, basically what we said. What about our favourite characters?
You go ahead and go first. I'm going to need a second.
Mine was Mimi, and I will also say Evie's, which was Patamon because he wants to play, and that is completely understandable because Patamon was pretty great in this.
Yeah.
I picked Mimi just because Mimi was precious. Like, I'm just gonna say she's parroting what she's heard from someone she respects, and she's 10. So I'm just saying that, you know, she's passionate and she thinks she's doing good in this episode. She thinks she's doing what is right, and it's just really nice to see her again. And I mean, I would say Palmon, but Palmon was not. I mean, she did have the vines, which was cool, but it was mainly Mimi in this episode, and also the fact that, you know, she really liked the diamond, and then, you know, but she gave the diamond to Lilymon to use in the attack, and she says that everyone here is more precious to her than the diamond, and that was really nice. So I'm gonna pick Mimi, even though she was also kind of like not so good in this episode. But I'm just gonna say, yeah, I liked her. I'm gonna be the one who is too easy on the show and just say, yeah, Mimi's my favorite. Quinn, have you decided? No, are you gonna? Please don't go abstract. Please don't go abstract.
I will borderline it. I'm gonna go with Commandomon. Is that how that's pronounced? Langlymon.
Yeah.
Langlymon was my favorite character
Langlymon.
because he got to sleep.
Good choice. Yeah, he got to sleep, which is like, what a mood, sleeping, but he's still moving. But, you know, just not where he's meant to go. That was precious and very much just like, kind of just, you know, plot convenience, but it's funny.
Yeah, and my favorite character was the character who wasn't really involved in this episode.
He was involved enough because he split up the group, and it's another splitting up of the group, which is more plot than maybe this episode gave us, but I'm still not sure.
Yep.
What about rating, which I'm sorry, I gave this episode too high. I gave it a 5. I'm sorry,
wow.
I've sinned. I liked this episode. The animation really did it for me this episode. Especially the Togemon evolving to Lilymon. That just took me by surprise because we got this nice new animated evolution sequence, which no other characters had, like a weird new evolution sequence. That was weird and surprising. Cool. So yeah, it's a 5, but it's also like I might have to like revisit. I'm gonna put like a little triangle, like angled parentheses next to my rating on the basis that if this episode is just filler and is never referenced again, I'm going to give this episode like a 3 or a 2.5.
That's fair. That's valid. If this ends up being the cornerstone of something, I'll come back to mine as well.
Yeah, I'm just putting a little like parentheses, which means that, like, I know we gave episode 34 an asterisk to symbolize if we do have to reevaluate our ratings, that one's still like a high rating episode, and now I'm giving this one a little parentheses just to say, hey, if this episode turns out to be not plot, then this episode is just like, it's an episode that happened. Trouble the animation was good.
That rhymes P, and that stands for plot.
I like that. That's good. So do you know your rating, or should I jump to
no,
Evie?
Mine is a 2 because it was pretty
That's fair.
terrible, but Mimi salvaged it a bit.
Yeah, and the animation.
And the animation
That's
was
what
quite
salvaged
good.
a bit for me. And the thought that this could go somewhere in terms of plot.
Abandon
But
hope,
again,
all ye who enter here.
it is if it doesn't go back to if this is just filler and nothing ever comes back to it, it's
Then
definitely
we go
a
on
3 for
strike
me.
as
But I'm gonna
Digimon
give it
fans.
yeah. As for Evie gave it a 3. Would be less, but Mimi dragged it up a bit, which I feel like that's a very fair rating for that. It's definitely not as good as we've had previously, but again, it could be so good if there's actually some plot here. But I'm not too hopeful. As for rating, I think I'm actually going to pull this down a little bit in my ranking. I had it in 7th place, and now that I've actually spoken about it, it is... Do I have any other lower 5? So episode 35, I gave a 5 to. This is probably not as good as that. Episode 33, I also gave it 5 to. I'm terrible. I'm giving 5s across the board. And then, what did I give? I'm sorry, I'm just talking about my ratings now.
No, you're fine.
Okay, I'm gonna put it...
My ranking.
Okay, mine's in 9th place, which means it's the very bottom of all the 5s, of my 5s. But again, I'm definitely... I can move that as soon as this is revealed to not be an actually important episode. It is just filler. I will very much just move that further down, depending on whatever, if I give it a 3 or what have you. But for now, that's going to sit in 9th place, as I liked aspects of this episode, but the more you think about it, the worse it is. Quinn, do you have a ranking yet, or should I move on to Evie's response?
Go ahead and do Evie's. I'm taking the last couple looks around.
Okie dokie. Evie says 22nd, which is... I have just closed the window. I shouldn't have done that. Just above episode 17. So there's episode 17. So basically in the middle, which is honestly like that feels like a good spot for it. Just in the lower middle, which very much like that is probably where I'll be putting this episode if, again, this episode turns out to not be anything. Quinn, where are we putting this?
5th from the bottom, between 10 and 29. Excuse me.
Okie dokie.
Yeah,
So
10 and 29.
yeah, so that's in 33rd place. And then
right.
I forgot to do our overall one. So overall, this was a 10 using all of our votes, which means it's on the same level as episode 13 and episode 36. What did I put 36? I would say it's... I can't even find 36 in my ranking here. Did I just not put 36 in my ranking? Oh, I'll find where it is. No, I have episode 36.
At the moment, I'm just thinking about Sora with a knife.
Okay.
I wish Sora still had a knife.
Sora with a knife is good. I wish Sora still hadn't give that... Well, Bergermon had a knife last episode. So yeah, episode 36 was Operation Satellite Sniper, which we saw last time. And episode 13 was Garudamon of Crimson Wings. Do we think that's worse than episode 13 or better than episode 13?
I think I would say worse.
Okie dokie. So that means overall it is basically in the middle. So it's in 23rd place. So yeah, basically that's approximately the middle. Yeah. So overall we have it in just underneath. So 23rd place, just underneath 36 and 13, and just above episode 11, the wolf standing atop the desert. And so do we have any other miscellaneous thoughts before we move on to questions?
I don't think so.
Okie dokie. I will now get up the questions because I'm trying to get it up right now, but it's just not happening for me. Ooh. Alright, so our questions on YouTube from the last episode. First of all, we have Matthias, who says the entire episode was Koshiro setup. Even at the Kabuterimon evolving after crashing with the electric pillar, just like Metal Greymon did, would have made a lot more sense than Metal Greymon evolving to Blitz Greymon. And then they go on to say, also Metal Greymon evolving to Blitz Greymon because he adapted the environment. No, Koshiro, that's not how that works. I guess it does in the digital world. I don't know.
Yeah,
they say that wild Digimon adapt themselves. Yep. If it does, if you squint. Then they say wild Digimon adapt themselves and evolve depending on the place they choose to live. While on the other hand, Digimon with tamers don't need that at all. They evolve depending on how you raise them. And now, if they say Blitz Greymon was the result to Metal Greymon adapting to the environment, which is stupid, I guess next time we see them receiving some freezing attacks, he'll evolve to Hex Blaumon. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
I guess that would happen, but I don't...
I mean, it's going to be whenever the writers remember.
Yeah, which I wonder if we'll ever see Blitzgreymon again, to be honest.
I don't think so. I think we're getting a lot of one-off evolutions so that we can sell a bunch of toys.
But honestly, I don't think we're going to be getting any more figures. But that anyway, that famous last words. I'm going to have to buy all the figures, so I don't want them to buy any figures.
You're obviously wrong if you don't think there will be figures from this show for the next 4 years.
They've released some figures, but it's weird. They've released figures, but they've all been there. Like Wargreymon, Metalgarurumon, Lilymon, Angelmon. They're all there, like the two main kids' Mega Evolutions and everyone else's Perfect Evolution. So it's been more like Adventure originally existed. We've got the branding from Colin, but it's from Adventure Original.
Yeah, but I mean, that's also been all of this show until about 5 episodes ago.
And even then, they don't want to keep it that way sometimes. Next up, we have Anthony, who says that she kind of digs the weird herky-jerky focus in the episode. The Agumon evolution was there, it happened, but it wasn't the climax. It wasn't a main story beat. It's never going to be the main thing you think about when you think about this episode. It was just a thing that also happened, and I agree. And they say, no, it's nice in a weird way. They feel like it contributes to the sense of rising action, everything going off the rails, storytelling rules of the franchise being thrown out the window as the action mounts up and up and up and up. It's a little neat.
Yeah.
And then they say,
I wish I felt like it was a situation where Koshiro was taking some of Taichi's screen time instead of feeling like it was the other way around.
Yeah, definitely. Anthony then continues to say that, of course, the flip side is that they're throwing these fun little extras at us when they've never taken the time to build the bones of an actual show. What are the stakes? What's a character?
Yeah.
And that's fair. That there's a lot of things that they could have done, but they didn't. We then have Snide, who says that this episode was basically exactly like the Eldoradimon falling through the sky, except they were flying up, which, yeah, they're right. That is a thing that happened. But for some reason, when they're flying up, it's just like, this is much more believable than just falling for, like, 40 minutes and then the Metal Marmimon are apparently balloons now. I don't know. Anyway, so they continue that at least they wrapped up the throwaway ISS plot thread. Thank goodness we're finally going to get other characters back soon. Characters is a strong word.
And back is a strong word considering they can just leave anytime.
Yeah, they really don't like the characters being together because they don't know how to write like that many characters. You saw it as soon as we had we got Koshiro again.
3 is the limit to the number of characters who can be in a conversation. Quite possibly because that's the limit to the number of actors we can have in a room.
Yeah, and some of them have to be on a Zoom call like Koshiro where we just explains things. So yeah, as soon as we got Koshiro, we immediately split up the cast again. Alright. Then we have VVV, who says they really hope Bounty Lilymon shows up. If not next week, then at some point during the show. That sounds too good. Bounty Lilymon's too good for this show. Unless the show gets good, and then please more. Next we have Kill It With Fire, who says that Blitzgreymon felt incredibly shoehorned in and didn't add anything to the episode. And yeah, I would completely agree. Yeah. Like, it felt weird. I mean, I kind of liked the last episode, but again, like, why? Anyway, so they continue to say it would have just been fine if we just left it as Metal Greymon or even War Greymon if we absolutely need to evolve here. They're glad it still managed to be a Koshiro episode, but the reboot is making it very clear that we have one main character and with one large supporting cast. They're kind of done giving the show credit for not being as bad as it could have been. And yeah, I'm not. I will still give it credit for not being completely terrible. And again, if episode 37 turns out to just be like foreshadowing for Tachikawa Industries being the big bad, this episode's great. But again, I'm giving the show so much credit. Next we have Child Emperor saying, what do you guys think about the new outfits the kids are wearing? Do you like the original Takeru or the new one? What about for Koshiro? I don't know. I kind of like that the kids' clothes have sort of updated with the times, but at the same time they're still
I wish Hikari's
very
were
much
less bad.
extra. Like, I kind of like Hikari's, but that also because that looks like an outfit I'd wear.
Fair.
I like overalls. I threw out my overalls today, but like I still like the idea of them.
It's the yellow that gets me, I think.
That was very much her old character clothes, though, right?
Yeah. Takeru, I think I like his. He always had the weird Dragon Ball hat anyway, so it's not like he ever wore anything normal.
Yeah. I
Yamato
like how
is no
Koshiro
longer
is wearing like socks with sandals.
Yeah. Yamato is no longer wearing gloves and a green sleeveless tank top, so I'll take it.
Nobody's wearing gloves in this show, except for Taichi, who is wearing his action gloves that he wears when there's action. Not against it, to be honest. I kind of like it.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, yeah, I really love
Remember when
Koshiro's
Taichi
socks
used
with
to punch
sandals,
Digimon?
Yeah, I want more of that. That'd be cool. Next we have Ritza, who says that this episode cements the series as the Taichi show. The episode was essentially a Koshiro episode. It was about him finally accepting everyone and learning to be together with people and not always being alone. It was great character development for him. Yet, who gets a new evolution? It's Taichi! Not like he needed it. He has 2 megas now. He sure loves to hog the spotlight. And again, I like to stress that he has more than 2 megas because we've already got Mugendramon and we've already got Omegamon, and I'm including Omegamon as a mega. He's technically a super ultimate, but I'm just going to class that as a mega, so he has
Taichi, how come
many.
your mom lets you have 4 megas?
Yeah, he has 4 megas. And what, we're expecting them to just sit with 1 Omegamon? There are so many Omegamon variants. I made a joke, like, this morning on Twitter. We have, there's going to be some announcement to celebrate, like, the anniversary of Kazuna being in theaters, because it's been a year, apparently, and I'm just here sitting like, hey, imagine if it's just another Omegamon variant that we're going to have. Like, wouldn't that be fun, y'all?
Yep.
But I'm not even, like, that's not even really a joke. It's just, we get Omegamon every year. We get a new Omegamon every year.
Yep.
I'm
I
not
hate
going to be
it.
surprised if we get a
I
new
would
one.
like to never see another Omegamon. And frankly, just...
I'm sorry.
I think we could just do away with Jogresses.
You will. Unless we get Jogresses of, like, we get Ceresmon being a Jogress of Rosemon and Phoenixmon.
Yeah.
It works so well. It's just a giant plant bird. I'm here for it. Anyway, Ritsu then says that even Koshiro acknowledged the evolution by, like, the end segment by saying, one day, Tentomon. Like, yeah, I guess it's kind of sad. Like, yeah, he wanted the spotlight. And that's it for questions this week. Do we have any other miscellaneous thoughts before we wrap this up?
Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. Alright everyone, so thank you for joining us. Next time we'll be covering episode 38, The Blazing Blue Boring Friendship. I added that boring part in because I don't have hope for I'm sorry, Yamato episodes have so far been...
It's gonna be really
not the
bad.
good
We're gonna
ones.
shout Oni-chan, and then I guess we're gonna probably get another alternate evolution for Yamato.
But we haven't even had his normal evolution yet.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. We might just be
Unless he gets
skipping
both. Unless we just get both. We get Metal Garurumon and an alternate evolution.
that. We might actually start with an alternate evolution. I think that's my prediction for next week.
I guess I mean...
We also
already
started
know
with
that
an alternate for Taichi, so...
No, oh yeah, I guess Mugendramon, yeah. Unless we get we get to a dark evolution? Please?
God,
I know
good.
it's just rewriting what we got with... If we're just rewriting what we got with Taichi, I don't care, but I just really...
Yeah, well,
I
what
really
if we
like
did
dark
what we did with
evolutions.
Taichi, but good this time?
We don't have him just being motivated, like Greymon evolved because his partner got vored, which sounds like it should have been so good, but it was just, no. But yeah, I don't really have high hopes for the next episode because I think I mentioned it was the last episode, the episode before, where I think there's some, like, semi-correlation between episodes with Yamato appearing in it and episodes that aren't good.
That's
I just
about accurate,
think
yeah.
that's a thing. Like, I really think I should start mapping out episodes where Yamato appears and then whether or not they are good. Like, would you call a good, like, above a 3, so 3.5 and up? Like, I think...
I would say
I always
even
give,
just
like,
a
a
3 and up might be a decent cutoff line.
Okay, yeah. 3 is just like this is an episode that wasn't terrible and is definitely a little bit good. So yeah, I guess 3 and up. So I think I might go through and map what episodes Yamato appears in versus... like, maybe our overall, like, maybe I'll get, like, I'll just get the average from our overall ranking and get that on a scale of 5, and then I'll just map Yamato appearing, because I don't think I don't have faith in Yamato episodes, I'm sorry, even though I know we've had some good Yamato episodes, I don't have good predictions. I'm very, very negative for the next episode, which means that I could be completely surprised. The next episode could be really good. Not expecting it to be, though.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think I'm out.
Alright, so let's continue on with the outro, and I'm wearing my glasses this time, so if I make a mistake, it's all me. It's all my mouth. It's not my eyes. My eyes are fine. I've got glasses on. I should be, and it's great because they're anti-glare, so I can actually see things. It's great. I love it.
But
anyway,
what do
so
you do
onto
when
the
you need to
outro, which
glare
I'm...
at people?
Oh, I just take them off, put them on my head, and then do a
Ooh,
small glare. I don't know.
you just take them off, and then you do a hair flip, and then it's anti-glare. Then you took that off, and now you can glare.
I like that.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it.
Okay.
So anyway, The link dump's linked in the description, and so is our Redbubble. You can also contact us and stay updated. We have an email address with all the spam is going to at the moment, so that's LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com. Or you can also comment on this episode or message us on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com. And you can also check out our blog posts on that website too, because I write them, and I think some of them aren't terrible. But I also sometimes think that Digimon's not terrible, so judge me how you will. Anyway, so you can follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter, or you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We also have a discussion thread on With the Will, and one in the Digimon subreddit. And you can also review us on any podcast listening app that you use, that obviously if they accept reviews, you can't just shout into the sun and just hope that they give you a place to put your review, and we'll read it out on the podcast. We also have a Patreon account which you can donate to, and it's linked in the description, and you can do so from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a listed Discord server, but there are higher levels for rewards such as notes, early episodes, unedited episodes, and more. And thank you to our existing supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Reeves, who's Wild Wing Season 4 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who has a Twitter account, Chisai236, Kyle, Lisbeth, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Metal Maimon, Sam, Anthony, Keith from Gone Will Hunting, a Hunter x Hunter rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Blind Man, Japhus, and Patrick. And also, you can donate to oh man, I was doing so well. I was doing great, and then I just stuffed up there. I was just doing great. Alright, so one-off donation on PayPal, which we found in the description, and maybe one day if I don't flub, you can think that I'm worth donating to because I don't flub. So the PayPal address is paypal.me/edgemon. And also I have a Coffee account, which is ko-fi.com/edra. And I'll stop flubbing one of these days. That was just all me. I just forgot words existed. I was about to say how proud of myself I was, and then I just stopped having words with syllables in them. Anyway, so that's a thing. So thank you so much for joining me today, Quinn, and obviously Evie in spirit. Quinn, where can we find you?
You can follow me on the tweeters at RealYubico.
And your tweets are fire.
They do be like that sometimes.
So definitely wear gloves. Like mittens, like the oven mitts is where I'm going.
Wear gloves and a sleeveless tank top to follow this account.
Basically. And of course, you can obviously join all of us in our rewatching of Tamers and Pokemon Advance, I think is the season called. I'm terrible. The one with May in it.
Yeah, Pokemon
and
Advance.
Max and Pokemon Advance. I should know that because in the song they go, Heroes for Advance. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
it's terrible.
So if you want to listen to our thoughts on Tamers and Pokemon Advanced, and obviously always saying Heroes every episode, you can also check us out on the Moncast, which is Evie's podcast, which all three of us are there too. So if you really like us and you really like our voices and you listen to this episode and you're like, really wish I could hear more of their wonderful voices, check out the Moncast if you haven't already. So anyway, that was it for this episode. Thank you for joining thank you for joining for me. I just don't know what words are anymore. I'm so sorry. I'm so tired.
Yeah, see, the problem is that you get in your head after the first one and then you make 12 more.
Yeah, that's because the brain is just a magical thing, and I just want to go to sleep, obviously, after I get the Raw out, which I will do, and then I will immediately go to bed. So if you listen to the Raw, you'll know. I'm in bed. Yay, sleepy.
Same.
And yeah, all of us. But anyway, so of course, thank you to the listener for listening to this episode, and we will see y'all next time. Bye!